Welcome to part 2 of making the perfect vertical card holder. If you watched episode 1, we went over how I created the pattern, what ways the pattern's different to all of the other card holders on the market, card wallets on the market, and I showed you my technique of how to do it. So in this video, I'm going to make that pattern. I'm using a beautiful shrunken goat skin. This one's from Leatherbox, and this video is sponsored by Leatherbox. More on them later. But this video is showing you how I turn a pattern that I've created in front of you guys into a wallet, which, let's face it, we all want to see because we all want to start making our own pieces. So it's a shrunken goat skin and it's a sheepskin. However, most sheepskins I've worked with haven't been amazing, but this one I've really enjoyed. This is going to be a really interesting project for me because I've never worked with this particular goat skin. Like most of you, I have used Auran goat, Chev, or Sully, whatever you wanna, whichever name you want to use, as my primary leather for the past nearly 8 years. But this one is very different. They sent it to me to use in this video, and I was a little bit hesitant, I'll be honest. I was a little bit hesitant to begin with because it's much softer and much suppler. However, on further examination, it is really nice. It's a really beautiful leather to work with, and you'll see why very shortly. The thing about Auran is it's great for what it does. It is really quite a firm goat skin. It's got a great texture, it's got a great grain. However, because it's got a firm texture, it makes it less good for the supple projects that you might want to do. And I wanted to make this particular card wallet really nice and supple. So this was the perfect place, this was the perfect time and perfect project to show you guys that there are other leathers on the market. This one specifically obviously was given to me, but they didn't pay me to say it's amazing. I just want to say it's amazing. It does behave slightly differently. There's more stretch, there's more there's less uniformity in the grain, but that's because it's shrunken, so it's a different way of tanning it. Instead of just tanning it normally like goat skin and letting it like Auran and just letting it do its thing, the goat skin that I'm using in this, and there will be a link to it in the video description, is shrunken, which means after it's tanned, they use a process, I think it's actually heat, to shrink it. And that obviously makes the skin a little bit smaller. So if you need a big skin, this is not perfect for it. But if you want a small skin for like small leather goods, like this one, it is perfect for it. Because you don't need that square footage of area, because it's shrunken, so it's smaller. But we're going to do two different pocket types on this, two different pocket styles on this. We're going to do, the front pocket's going to be painted, and the T-slot is going to be turned, because I wanted a chance to paint this goat skin. Normally, if you have been following this channel for a while, you'll see that most of my videos, I do turned edges on everything. It's much faster. Turned edges are much faster. You do it and you're done. With paint, obviously, you have to do a couple of layers. I'm not showing you all of them because this video will take 3 hours to do. But with paint, you have to do a couple of layers, let them dry, sand them, another layer, so on and so forth until it's perfect. I wanted to see how this particular goat skin, because obviously I have lots of experience with Auran goat skin, I wanted to see how this Leatherbox goat skin would behave when it's being painted. Would the paint stick to it well? Would the paint absorb into it nicely on the first coat? Would it heat nicely? And the answer to all of those is yes. Now, I haven't showed you all of those, and I do apologize. I did record them, but I lost the footage, so I am sorry about that. But I'm a moron, what can I say? So one of the techniques I do for the T-slots is I put a little bit of non-stretch tape on where the T-slots will be stitched to the pocket module, this thing. Because over time, when a card wallet when a card slot is being used, if it's very, very thin leather, and I skive the bottom of the T-slot down quite thin so that it doesn't show through the front pocket, you need a little bit of reinforcement there, and this black tape is perfect for that. I get it from Leatherbox. However, I'm not using it as a non-stretch material. I'm using it because it's a bit of sticky fabric. It will go underneath the T-slot and means that if in the situation that one or maybe two of those stitching holes goes through the 3mm of leather between the stitching holes, it won't actually go all the way through and make the card holder, the wallet, unusable. It will give that a little bit of extra life, because I have put a bit of my life, I've put days of my life into making a product for you by hand. Therefore, I want it to last as long as physically possible, but I don't want to use any more non-leather than I can. It's a leather wallet. It's a handmade leather wallet, and therefore it should last as long as possible. So I use a very small bit of this fabric where you'll never see it unless you peel open the wallet underneath to give it a bit of longevity. That is the only reason I do it. And then we tap it down to make sure that it's completely seamless underneath the whole wallet. Now, what you'll see in a moment is me skiving down a little bit of the front of the T-slot, and the reason behind that is because if you have your T-slot and your front slot touching each other, there is the possibility, small but possibility, that at some point in the wallet's life, in the next 20-30 years of this wallet being used by its owner, that you will see leather between the T-slot and the front slot, and I don't like that. So I've got 5mm, I skive of that 3 or 4 of the T-slot underneath the front slot, and so you'll never see the leather behind, ever. It just won't happen, and it will give it that level of extra luxury. Now, when I was skiving this particular pink leather, I didn't know what to expect. I've never used it before, and it skives really well. It's got an unusual finish on the front. It's completely smooth. I can see no grain to it. I can see very few pores to it. It's a very interesting leather. Again, it's one that Leatherbox sent to me, but I've never used it before. Really, really fascinating stuff. I was expecting the goat skin for the front pocket to stretch a little bit when I put it on, but it didn't. It stayed completely stable. Really, really impressed with this stuff. And again, I'm not being paid to say that. They're paying me to make this video, but not say nice things. I'm just saying nice things because I like it. You have just seen me only glue around the edges. So if someone wants to repair this wallet in 20 years, they won't be able to if the lining that's covering the back of the module is completely glued down. They won't be able to, because they'll have to tear the whole thing apart and it'll become unusable. If you only glue it around 5mm around the edge, you, 1, don't see the stitches from the T-slot, 2, can repair it if needs be, and I hope it doesn't need repairing, but I'd like it to be able to. I spent a long time making it, and I want you to spend a long time using it, so I made it repairable. And I know you're going to ask, I'm using a 3mm pricking iron. Really, really like these ones from Pro Italia Plus. The hole that they leave is a little bit small. I believe it's 1.7mm possibly. So I'm actually using my awl to open it up to 2mm. Just gives me a little bit of extra stitching angle, which I really like. I don't like the slightly flatter stitching iron. It's hand stitched. I don't want it to look machine stitched. It's going to last a long time, and I want it to look like it will, not just machine stitch, because I don't actually like machine stitch very well. But anyway, so I'm using a 3mm pricking iron, and I'm using a M40, which is a 0.45mm thread. This is a thread that is less than 0.5 millimeter thick. Takes time and practice to get used to. This color was a absolute effing nightmare. I'd like to say the full word, but I don't want to get demonetized. It was a nightmare to mix. I wanted to do a matching edge paint to the goat skin just to make it really pop. I am terrible at color matching stuff. Anything, can't do it at all. Terrible at color matching stuff. But I managed to do it. It took me 4 attempts and nearly 300 ml of red paint to get the color perfect. It unites, mixes beautifully. It's not about the fact that it mixes badly. It doesn't. I'm just absolutely awful at color matching paint. I can do it, but it takes me a long time and it's a lot of paint. So I got 30 ml of paint from hundreds of mil of red paint. I had to throw out a whole bunch to get this perfect. But that is how much I care about it looking perfect. Now, this wallet does not have an owner. It's obviously made in collaboration with the sponsor of this video, but it does not have an owner. So if you would like to be the new very lucky owner of this wallet, it'll be on my stand store on my Instagram. Obviously, my Instagram is in the link in the description. It's Treve Cambridge. So if you would like to buy it, go to my Instagram or DM me. Either way works, because this does not have an owner, and it would love to be in somebody's pocket forever, I promise. Super supple as well. So I don't use my awl to go all the way through. I have made the mistake in the past of trying to punch perfect holes all the way through 5 layers of leather, and it was a mistake, as I just said. So in order to get those stitches perfect, I do the X method, which means that I use forward facing pricking irons on both the front and the back, so technically they're both the front. And then you have just a little bit in the middle of that X where you push your needle through. But because obviously I haven't print marked the lining of the back panel, when I stitch it, I have to use a roundel just to open up that tiny little hole in the middle of that X. And it does slow down the process more than a tiny little bit. It slows it down quite a lot. But we went with a colour matched as close as I had in stock. You can get slightly closer, I believe, but it's fine. I use a wax thread. It looks beautiful. Colour matched, meaty, super fine linen thread, and I'm very, very pleased with the outcome. Now, I didn't show you all of the stitches around the outside. You've seen the rest of them. I have done many videos of stitching, so I didn't think that you needed to sit through the torture of that. You can see probably 3 seconds of sanding. This took about 40 minutes to get it sanded perfectly, because the secret to a perfectly polished edge painted edge is not in the edge paint. It's in the sanding before the edge paint and the creasing to get those edges nice and compressed, nice and smooth. Because if you try and fill those voids with edge paint, it'll take 7 or 8 layers. If you try and sand it perfectly and then paint it, it's more like 4. It'll half your time. But I loved making this. It's my absolute favourite pattern I've ever made. And I've made quite a few patterns. Not very good ones, but I've made quite a few patterns. And I truly love this one. So if you want to be the lucky new owner of this beautiful wallet, let me know. Link to my Instagram is in the description. I cannot wait to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much to Leatherbox for sponsoring this video yet again. And I'll see you soon. Take care.